In the southern India, Chola kingdoms was very powerful, and the Chola kingdom was established by Vijayalaya in 846 to 871 AD, and he was the settled in the Tanjore. Tanjore was the center of the Chola kingdoms. The Vijayalaya focus on agriculture's work and strongly dependent on their output from the agriculture. He built up the tank and he managed the task for irrigations. For the harvestings, he also invented some tools. After Vijayalaya, there is a time period of Rajaraja 985 to 1016 AD, and this king built the military setups, expanded the empire by conquering the Pandya, Chera, both from the Mysore region. He also built up the naval power and more strong for the sea operations, because from sea they can easily handle the other. Then third, more prominent is Rajendra. Rajendra was son of Rajaraja. He had a long ruling over the Chola kingdoms. He continued the father policy, and he started his attacking over the nearby area. His army moved to the eastern coast of India through the Odisha coastal zone, and he also expanded the empire near to the Ganga river. And he here we see the threat he received from Pala ruler in Bengal before returning to the south. Rajendra northern campaign was many ways similar with Samudragupta southern campaign, and time period is 700 years earlier. Second was Rajendra during the naval campaign which took place in the Southeast Asia, and for many centuries Indian merchants had been trading with various parts of Southeast Asia. And the Indian ship had to pass through the Strait of Molucca, which were then held by the kingdom of Srivijaya. So the merchants of Srivijaya naturally felt that if they could take over this trade, they would get the profits and profit through the naval transactions. Indian merchants were also appearing in the Chola king, and Rajendra came to the help of merchant, probably because many of them were from Chola kingdom, and the profit they made helped to increase the revenue of the Chola kingdom. Success of Rajendra I spent much time and effort, money on fighting war with other kingdom, and some of the war those were not successful, but gradually Chola kingdom became weaker and other became stronger also. Chola government's most powerful person in the kingdoms was the ministers, or ministers dual role, the Purhit. He also a special officer in the charge, and kingdom divided in province and mandalam. Each mandalam divided into the number of Velandu, and each Velandu had number of village. Capital of Chola was Tanjore, from where that we see the begin. For some time capital was also Gangi Konda Cholapuram, that is the Ganga regions. In many village, administration carried out by the villagers themselves, and has a assembly of council, those were Ud and Sabha. Now we also see about the society of the Chola kingdoms. The royal family and the court two types of persons who were greatly respected, Brahmin and the merchant. Brahmin were respected because the Brahmins do the task of the worshipping. Merchant was respected because merchants see the money transactions, and some of the merchants join together and they call the merchant guild, that is the money graman. And guild usually same profession, and the another things, the major center was the temple. Temple was the major source of income, where we see that the Pallava periods, and the same way the Chola, they were very much focused about the some good temple, like beautiful temple of Mahabalipuram near Madras. Those were built in the time of Chola kingdom. And then we see the Gopuram also. Gopuram is the gateway, and then we have the tradition of worshipping the Natarajans, that is a bronze image of the Lord Shiva. Mostly you can find there those supposed to be worshipping. Chola has the educations, Gurukul Parampara, and the Brahmin was the teachers. Language was the Sanskrit, and the Tamil was also spoken by some people. Tamil not only the language spoken in south, in the other Andhra region also. And we have the reference from the Mahabharata and adaptation, the Tikana, and the Kannada language was also there. Religions, we shall see the popularly they have the religions is the Hindu religions, the Nainara, and other introduced the new idea, we see that. So God worship was the trend here, and this was also the period number of learned people who were practicing in the religious trend. Best known for this teacher were Sankara and Ramanuja. Sankara, who had lived in 8th century from Kerala, and who was the philosopher of Advaita, and he taught only the knowledge of worshipping the God. Sankara traveled all over the India and teaching his philosophy to all those who were interested there. Ramanuja was born in the 11th century. He preached the one should devote oneself entirely to the worship of God. Bhakti traditions we also see there. So Chola period made an important contribution to Indian culture and the political power of Chola, and the commerce and trade was also very much important. Poet and the writers were the number of work in Tamil, Telugu and Kannada. Magnificent work we see there. So many of the development had impact not only the peninsula but also the other part of India. So we can say that we had a great kingdom, that was the Chola.